We are now getting into Danny Carey, Pneuma, Tool live in concert, the drum cam. I've been getting a lot of requests for this. It's time to properly jump into it. Let's go. He's got a lovely range of drums here. It's all these sounds. It's so cool that he has all this to choose from. This is what I'm like when I'm making a curry at home. I'm just like a bit of garam masala, a little bit of cumin, a bit of ginger, a bit of turmeric. All right, you know. It's all kind of, he's just sort of looking around and just, he has all this whole palette, all these flavors to choose from. It's really, really cool. This is the first time I have even laid eyes on the man, let alone seen him perform on drums. I've just been listening, you know. But to actually kind of get insight into what he's really doing is so interesting and so much fun. And as Pete has acknowledged here, is that the snares are off. So with the snare, you can kind of click them on or off. If they're off, it's a much more dull sound, more of a do do. When they're on, it's a sort of kind of sound, you know, and that's the kind of difference. And I feel that Danny is the only person who would choose to go with off for this song, because you would think you really want the snare to crack. But he's doing so much, it doesn't need to. It doesn't need to crack. Like it's pulled back, and it's mindful, and it's cerebral, and it's calm. So yeah, he's got that snare off, and he's being pretty gentle with a lot of it. Really, it's all very, very calm, very fast paced and intricate, but it's like there's a real delicacy to what he's doing as well. It's really, really cool to see, and I'm so excited to see this song progress. This is how he brings the sort of tonal application of his drums into the mix, where it starts almost kind of bringing melody in. Now, if anybody can tell me what that drum is, I'd be really interested to know. It sounds like an Indian percussion or like a clay drum, but it's not. I don't think it's electric, is it? Is it? Or is it just a kind of a skin that's designed to sound like that? But it's got that Indian percussion feel. And with Indian percussion and Middle Eastern percussion, it's very tonal, you know, instruments like tablas and stuff, like you can really, there's a lot of melody to it. It's not just rhythm. And I think that's what Danny brings into this is more kind of melody, and I've said before with his drumming, it's storytelling with the way he uses percussion. Is it an electric spiral out? Cheers. Okay, that figures. Yeah, it sounds so great. Wow, yeah, so Idle Tides makes a really good point here in the chat. So Danny's the lead here while the bass keeps the beat. Kind of. The bass is keeping the steady beat here while Danny starts to move around, and he's playing kind of two rhythms at once. Like he's got two brains in his flipping head, and and has that kind of coordination. It's really hard to get your head around, honestly, what he's doing here, and that is interesting what they're doing, because yeah, the bass is keeping your point of reference while he's kind of straying away from it. Without the bass doing what it was doing here, you would just be kind of lost, wouldn't you? Just totally lost. But that's what's so creative about Tool is nobody has to stick in their role. You know what I mean? Nobody has to stay in their lane. It's they can really start moving around, and yeah, it's just. Oh. Get out of here. Such a unique take on the drums. It's so awesome to see him doing what he does live. You know, I've heard it. I've heard it like recorded and got into the audio, and I always say with Tool, whenever I'm listening to Tool, I'm like, the drums are really getting me. The drums are a big part of this story. The big part of this journey we're going on here is the drums. And I'll level with you, like, I've always been more melody and chords as a musician. That's always where I've kind of lay my hat, you know what I mean? That's what I understand the most, what I kind of generally enjoy the most. So it's very rare. Like, I appreciate a great drum fill. I appreciate a nice beat, you know, no matter what the genre, whether it's hip hop, rock, metal, I appreciate the beat. All right, don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted, don't get it confused. I love drums, I love a beat. But in terms of kind of my musical appreciation, it's probably at the bottom of the pile generally. And like, if I'm working on an instrumental and it needs drums, I'm always a bit like, I don't. You know, the melody and the chords, they come naturally, they come quickly, and I'm into it. Drums, I always find them a bit of a challenge, and I tend to rely on collaborating with other musicians who are more percussion and drum orientated to collaborate with. You know, but I'm developing a kind of a new appreciation, a new level, a new depth of love for drums from Danny Carey, like, because it's so melodic, it's so creative, it's so front of house. It's leading the song. And as we said, there was a point in that where the bass was keeping time, and he was going off on polyrhythms and going off on a solo adventure halfway through. You know, like, it's crazy. You know, it's really crazy. I've never heard drumming like it, and I think it's absolutely phenomenal. He's turned me on to a whole new perspective on percussion, and yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Yeah, I absolutely loved that. That was Danny Carey, Pneuma by Tool, live in concert. Absolutely blowing my mind. Damn.